Yo, welcome. Today I'm doing something different. I am going to be reviewing some of my games from the tournament I played on Saturday. I played the Asia tournament in the morning on Saturday, and I didn't play very well. I was tired. I didn't have any much rest, and then I thought it would not be very entertaining for you guys to watch me play like that in the evening again in the EU tournament. But then turned out I played fairly decently, and I kind of regretted not streaming my games because they were actually quite awesome. I had a lot of fun. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna walk you through the games I played and talk you through some of my decisions, my strategy, and why I did the things that I did in these games. Cool. So my opponent is 11249028831. Yeah, I'm considering the Typhoon Specialist. I'm considering Giant Specialist. These aren't really considerations, to be honest. And then my opponent picks Rhino Specialist. I'm gonna go for Quick Deploy because I want to get through these games fairly quickly, but I'll still talk through my decision process. Yeah, I went for Marksman because recently I've been focusing on getting Marksman levels early. And also they go really well with Tarantulas. So this starting lineup for me is fairly good. I chose a standard setup because it looked like something that I would have placed anyway, so I just took it. He's got the Stormcaller with Crawlers and Fangs. And he's getting his Rhino later. I think he is favored in this matchup. But since the Stormcaller nerf, they haven't been doing as much damage to the Tarantula, so it's not been very good to have Stormcallers. I still can't decide whether or not it's a strong start, so yeah, let's just see how this plays out. Okay, we win the first round. Marksmen were a good choice. Okay, my opponent picked extended range. I skipped because I didn't see any decent options. Haven't unlocked any units here. I just decided to go more Tarantula. Why not? So basically, yeah, I've decided I'm gonna go for the Tarantula push. Not too aggressive, just slightly more forward. I think it's okay against Stormcallers, and some people don't know how to respond to it. So that's what I decided to do. Looks like the opponent really just brought in more chaff. Good choice. So we have to see what his decision is going to be. What units he's going to start bringing in besides his chaff. Next round, I'm already trying to think what he's going to bring in. What would counter my board? Probably more Stormcallers, to be honest. Would be very good here. But currently he's got no sniping units for my Tarantulas, and he's got no way to stop the Spider Mines if they do come. So let's see. I get my Typhoon. I take Nano Repair, he takes Absorption. I put the Nano Repair on the Typhoon, and I decide to flank him with it. Because I did see that there's a lot of chaff here. I mean, look at this. It's going to pull all of this to this one unit. Let's see how that goes. He did exactly what I thought he would do, which is bring in more Stormcallers. That makes sense. That's a logical decision. Typhoon dies to the Crawlers. To the chaff. I actually thought it would do a lot more than it did. I was kind of disappointed. I thought I thought the nano repair would be really good, but it just didn't do anything. Just give me a second. I'm turning off my camera while I blow my nose. I think I've got a cold coming on. Okay, Tarantula is still doing very well here. The distraction in this corner allowed us to actually get to this tower very quickly, so that helped a lot. Okay, what's next? He needs to figure out this problem quickly. He's got his Rhino now. I suspected that he might put the Rhino in the corner. We both go for the Farseer. That's why I put the Farseer so far back, just in case he did some shenanigans here on this side. I upgrade my Tarantulas. Getting an upgrade is just as good as getting another unit, so I always do that. My opponent decides to go for Launcher Overload. I don't actually know why. He puts down the Rhino thinking that I'm going to keep the Typhoon here, but I sold out of it because I realized it's actually not doing that great a job, and he's going to counter it immediately. So I just sold out of it because I don't see a need for it, right? Yes, I don't have the best anti-air units, but I've got Marksman and I've got the Farseer, so, and I've got Great Chaff Clear with the Tarantula, so I don't really need the Typhoon. So I sell it. It's not going to do much on this board. And you should apply that logic to pretty much any unit on the board, right? If you feel like there's something on the board, there's someone here that's not doing anything, then you should always just sell it. If it's not adding value, sell it. So I decided to put the Nano Repair on the Tarantula. It's surviving because of that. Great job. This works really well against Stormcallers because they do damage over time. And so you can just heal back that damage that they do. Okay, so we're in win round 4. Going well so far because we got range on our Tarantulas. If you are doing a Tarantula push, you should actually get range as early as possible. So round 3, round 4, round 5 is a bit late. And round 5 I get the Spider Mines. This is usually a very big power spike for a Tarantula push. I add another Tarantula. So now I've got 5 Tarantulas. So I added this one in the previous round. I decide to lend and see if I can really push my advantage. I lent, I went for range, I went for temporary range and temporary mobility, speed. He did not, which means that now I'm at an economical disadvantage, right? He went for more Stormcallers, thinking with the Launcher Overload he should be able to handle everything that's coming at him. It's looking good so far because the missiles and the salvos are doing really well here. They're clearing everything out, but the fire also did a lot of damage. So now we just got our Marksman. And we lose round 5. We've lost the tempo and we've lost the economic advantage. Now we're kind of on the back foot. Even though we do have the HP advantage. I decided to take the oil. Really just to slow down the units. I've got nothing to burn here. I just think the oil is really good. Second thing I did here was to distract the Stormcallers with fangs on the side. In the meantime, I also got the defense and attack enhancement, lending with temp range and speed, and getting mass recruitment. I'm recognizing that the Stormcallers are a really big problem, so I decided to go for Missile Interceptor on the Farseers. I think I got this a couple of rounds ago already. Spider-Man's not really getting in. Now they are in the middle, but generally he's doing a good job defending against it, right? I get through on the side of the oil because the oil helped. Also, I have an additional Farsi on the right, so that helped with defending against the Stormcallers. The Missile Interceptor on the Farsi is not bad, but it's not great against Launcher Overload Stormcallers. It's really just to mitigate the damage rather than prevent it. So let's see how this turns out. Looks like we're probably gonna lose. Yeah. Stormcaller is very strong here. And actually killing the mines. Very good stuff. Now I need to figure out how I'm gonna get back into this game because I'm, like I said, I'm on the back foot here. Don't quite know what I'm gonna do. Bela comes in, clutch, and gives us some overlords. He does the same thing. It's the best choice there for both of us. I decide to go for field maintenance, just to beef up my tarantulas a little bit against all the Stormcaller damage. Temp range and speed and lending again with additional deployment. I've added some marksmen in the meantime. Okay, he goes boats as well, no tick on his boats. And he brings in 2 Vulcans. Smart choice. It's gonna help with all the mines. Unfortunately, it's not great against my field maintenance tarantulas. I was almost gonna click armor enhancement next. The overload on the right hand side goes down. Overload on the left hand side goes down. My one overload is still surviving, which means we're probably gonna get the win because there's nothing left on the opponent's board that shoots up. This tarantula is my MVP. He's been doing so well. Okay. So he should have known that naturally for me it would have been the choice of taking the overload because he didn't have much that could kill it, right? He only has fangs on the board. I don't know why he didn't think about that. So we win round 7. Let's go. Portable shield and electro mag were my options there that I was thinking about. We both take it. Right, where are we right now? So I just want to pause for a second. So I've got multiple upgrades that I can do. I've got the Farseers. I'm faced with a lot of Stormcallers, and I really didn't know he was going to bring in more boats. I thought he was actually going to focus more on the Vulcans. And then he went incendiary on the Vulcans. I decided to go photon emission at the same time. That's really unfortunate for him because it counters this incendiary. I didn't expect him to go incendiary, to be honest. I just did it because I wanted to make my boats useful since I had them. And it helps to have the damage limitation. So he decides to commit on his boats with range. This looks very scary for us. Okay, he burns the ground, but it doesn't really affect our units because, like I said, we've got photon emission, so we take less damage from it. And the Spider-Mans are now getting in. Remember, we've got temp speed, so the Spider-Mans are moving at the speed of light, moving in there. And I want to remind you of something I said in the beginning of this game. I said I'm focusing on my marksmen because I believe that they scale really well. And here, the reason we won this round was purely because of our marksmen, right? They were able to take down the big overlords. We get another free drop. I take the the War Factory because I can intercept his missiles. It counters Stormcallers, it counters the Overlords, missiles. He's got fire badges that only counter my fangs. I don't quite understand that. I put down my incendiary. Once again, his incendiary is not going to do well here because we've got photon emission. Just a pity I don't have enough money for another boat over here. But this guy should get covered by this Overlord. And he brings in some Wasps with shields. So he goes Mothership with his Overlords and Wasps. So that's it's a decent idea, but my Farsies are doing work. I also decided to bring in an extra Farsi on the left here, which helped a lot. The missile interceptors are now doing an extreme amount of work, and I've also got range on my marksman now, so I immediately took that because I knew how good it was going to be against the Overlords. Okay, that's a wrap. We win game 1. Okay, next we play Chris. Let's watch that game. So this is in Advanced Group 1 in the EU Weekend Tournament. So the people I'm playing here are fairly high level. I think the first guy I played was 2000 MMR. And this guy I think was 1900 or something. Not sure. Can't remember. Okay, we're looking at Aerial Specialist, Fortified, Elite, and Quick Supply. Not the best options here. I decided to go for Quick Supply with my trusty Tarantulas. And he gets Stormcaller with Arclight, with Typhoon Specialist. Let's go for Quick Deploy, so we can move through this quickly. So I'm just going to go for a standard formation here. This is the standard formation I use for the setup. Just gonna pause here for a second. So with this unit, it moves quite slowly. It's 8 meters per second, and the crawlers are 16 meters per second. And usually, when the crawlers are this far back, you actually want your Tarantulas to be one block further back, and you'll see why now. You really don't want him to be targeted. Yeah, I made a mistake by putting them so far forward. So they will immediately be targeted by the Stormcallers. Not ideal. You kind of want the crawlers to be slightly ahead of the Tarantula as the battle starts, as we start engaging each other. Else this happens. They just die. Okay, so we lose round 1 purely because of positioning, and he had a really good start. He had Stormcaller, Arclight, and Crawlers, so very strong. I go for Electromag, he goes for Extended Range Vulcan. Yeah, he brings in an extra Stormcaller and some extra Crawlers, puts down a missile. I bring in 2 Stormcallers, and with my remaining money I get Defense Enhancement. Just so that the Stormcallers don't take down my Tarantulas as easily. The missile hits the Tarantula on the right hand side. He loses a lot of HP, and also at the same time the Stormcaller started targeting him immediately. Once again, the positioning is not that great. But it can be fixed. You just have to be aware of the fact that it's not positioned ideally. I'm gonna speed up here, because I think we're gonna lose this one. Yep. Alrighty. Free unit drop, we both take the fangs. I was contemplating for a while on this one. I didn't know what to take, but ended up choosing the fangs because it's just the best value. Adding more chaff to your board, giving a little bit of protection. So now, to fix the problem with the Stormcrawlers targeting my Tarantulas immediately, I just put in some Destruction Crawlers. So what that means is my Tarantulas have a little bit more time, a little bit more grace to get forward and start eating chaff and not die as early. But at the same time, it distracts the Stormcrawlers, so serves a dual purpose. Oh, my nose is running like crazy. I'm going to blow my nose again. Just let me put my control. So sorry. Alrighty. Seems to have worked, so the Stormcrawlers haven't locked on yet, so my Tarantula was protected. Only this one here on the left got locked on by these two Stormcrawlers. And honestly, I think our Fang positioning is slightly better than his, because we have them coming in a bit later. As level 2 Fangs, they actually do a decent amount of damage. You should not underestimate how strong Fangs can be, especially at level 2. Sometimes when someone is pushing me with Wasps, I just bring in Fangs with range. They work pretty well against Wasps. And I think purely because of the positioning and the distracting crawlers over here, we won this round. Speed up. Okay, we won round 3. Now we've got the tempo. Our first round win. We need to think about what we're gonna do with it. I'm gonna pause here for a second. We both take smoke. So we both apply the smoke, right? But I can see, there's a couple of things that I'm noticing on this board, right? Firstly, he took extended range Vulcan. Now, in my opinion, this card is not that great. It's great if you just want to use the Vulcan as like a chaff clear unit, but you need to have something else that carries for you, because of the decreased HP on the Vulcan is not that great. And I'm already thinking, if he goes extended range Vulcan, maybe I can go Vulcan as well, as a counter. So I'm starting to think about that. Now, also, I've got the Marksman and he doesn't. So I've got single target damage with the Vulcan. I think that's a really good combination. So we got Distraction Crawlers on my side. He's got Distraction Crawlers on his side. We put down smoke. Neither of us put down shields. But that's okay. I think the smoke affects him a little bit more than it does me. Let's see how this plays out. Fangs on the side, level 2 Fangs on the side, killing the crawlers. That's so impressive. That's so good. That's another tip. If you want, there's always crawlers on the side here, right? You can put some Fangs on the sides where I position them, and they will actually help clear those crawlers. You don't necessarily have to have full-on chaff clear here. So with just your own set of crawlers and those Fangs, you will be able to kill those crawlers that are coming in, and gain an advantage because your crawlers will do slightly better. I now have range on my marksman, which means they're doing pretty well against the stormcallers. They can match the range of the stormcallers, which is really nice. I'm gonna speed up here. It's gonna be a stormcaller versus stormcaller battle. Okay, we win the round, but barely. I wouldn't actually call that a win, to be honest. We both skip. Okay, and at the same time, we both bring in the Vulcans, right? So now here's where things get interesting. I did an outside position with my Vulcans because there's a lot of chaff on the outsides. He gets range immediately. I do not. I forgot to do a mobile beacon on my crawlers. Not ideal. But I did do an electro mag on the right hand side. As you can see here, here's a 1v1. And my Vulcan is winning handily. Also had some help from the marksman. So that was good. But also that Vulcan's HP is not doing great. Our crawlers get through in the middle. Our smoke on the left hand side is really hurting us, but the smoke on his left hand side, or our right, is it did a lot of work as well, and we still got a lot of units surviving on this side. So I'm gonna speed this up. Main difference between our compositions is that I've got marksman and he doesn't, and I've got normal Vulcans and he's got extended range Vulcans. So his Vulcans shoot pretty far. Mine on 95 meters. Let's have a look and see what his is on. I chose the Farseer, he chose the Melter and sold it. That's very surprising to me. I would have honestly bought Melters into this Vulcan. So I decided to get range. So even though I've now got 135 range, he's got 20 more meters on me, which is 155. But I've got 10,000 more HP on my Vulcans, 12,000 actually, to be more accurate. Right, so I'm selling off my Tarantulas. Remember, Tarantula and the Vulcan, they do the same thing really. It's just the Vulcan is a better version of the Tarantula, I guess, from a chaff clear perspective. He decides to go attack, but keep in mind, he's now saying that his Vulcans are carries, right? They are the ones that are going to do the damage and try and kill my units. Besides his Phoenix, the Vulcans are the ones that he's going to depend on to kill all of my ground units. He's now brought in Phoenix to try and help out with the damage. I remember in-game him saying that he doesn't understand why his Vulcans are losing to my Vulcans. But my marksmen are really strong. I put down this Farseer on the left here. A level 3 Farseer is nothing to scoff at. Really good damage, really great HP. So he was getting frustrated by the fact that this mirror match, if you want to call it that, is not working out in his favor. I took Javelin, he took tank production line. I mean, it's kind of obvious that we have to take Javelin here. Because he's got giants on the board. I've got giants as well. I sold the last of my Tarantulas. And I bring in the Vulcan, another Vulcan. I do decide to bring in more marksmen because I see him committing to the Phoenix. I put down the Javelin by the Vulcan. Remember, these melters are new now. Remember, he had a melter, then he sold it, and then now he's bringing in more melters again, realizing that I'm actually going Vulcan carry as well. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, so I instantly kill his Vulcan on the left hand side. That's a massive value Javelin. my Melter and the Farseer start targeting each other immediately. The Melter wins, but I've got Marksman that's just going to finish him off. And remember, a lot of these units are focused on the sides, which means the middle is actually quite weak. So that's why my Vulcans in the middle are just pushing through. They're doing an amazing job. And that's it up. Game 2. We win. Third game we played against Mankind. First time playing against this guy. I don't recognize him at all. Not the best options here. Typhoon is by far the best. Depending on what you were playing, I'm playing standard, so it was good. Here's a few good options here. Rhino is probably the strongest. Okay, so we've got Stormcaller with Crawlers and Rhino Specialist with Stormcaller and Arclights with Typhoon Specialist. Right, let's go for quick deploy. Yeah, I'm going to bring in some Crawlers and go with my standard positioning that I do. Nothing fancy. This is a formation that I've used quite a bit recently. I like it because it's safe, and I feel like the center is a bit ignored these days, so shooting outwards from the center works quite well. But he's got more chaff than I do, and I've got one more Arclight. So he's got an Arclight. I mean, he's got one more set of Crawlers, and I've got one more Arclight. So technically we should win this round. Let's see if we do. I don't know if we do. I don't remember. Looks like it might be a draw or very, very close. Looks like it might be a draw. Cool. It is a draw. Yeah, he takes Wasp Swarm. I figured that he might, so I decided to just get Fangs to counter it. In hindsight, I should probably have gotten another set of Fangs here instead of the Crawlers, but yeah, let's see how it goes. He brought in Fangs as well, thinking that I might bring in the Wasps. They do a little bit of damage. They take out a few of my Crawlers, but my Fangs take them out. We got some Arclight versus Arclight action here. I don't know why, but Arclights have felt a little stronger recently, so I've been playing them a lot more. They just do a fantastic job with chaff clear. For the price that you pay for them, they're pretty good at chaff clear. I was saying during these games when I was sitting with my friends, I really wish there was an aerial, like a really good cheap aerial chaff clear unit, similar to the Arclight, right? Which we don't have at the moment. Something that I can deploy in the air that clears ground chaff really well. I know there's the Wraith, but the Wraith costs 300, so that's not ideal. I know it's one of the best chaff clear units, but something cheaper would be great. Let's speed this up. Oh, we lose round 2. Okay, now I have to think about where we're gonna go with this. We both take the marksman. We both needed it, so took it. But I'm also getting my typhoon now. So he gets range on his arc lights. This is gonna be a massive disadvantage for us because he's gonna be able to clear our chaff quicker. And all we did was brought in extra chaff and some stormcallers of our own. I mean, why did I say stormcallers of our own? I mean, like, we just brought in extra chaff with the typhoon. And I put range on my marksman, which helped a little bit. Obviously we had the stormcallers from the get-go. Cool, so we win that round because range on our marksman. Missile strike for both of us. I thought he might go for one of these, but he decided to go for the crawlers. Good job there. Now he gets his rhino. Puts the rhino in the corner over here. Good job to put the rhino in the corner versus the typhoon. He's gonna run straight into the typhoon. He now gets range on his marksman as well. Should be a big advantage to him. This is one of the first mistakes I made in this game. As you can see, my typhoons are very exposed. And I didn't protect them with anything. I kind of relied on my crawlers coming in by the time they start hitting the enemy. But yeah, it's just this lone typhoon, and he immediately gets locked on by the marksman. Same on this side. And then we've got the rhino running in with crawlers and support behind it. So my flank is actually quite exposed here. Do we kill the rhino? Yes, we do. The shields are hopping out a little bit, but once again we're losing the chaff clear battle because our arc lights don't have range and these do. Okay, let's speed up. Oh, it's done. We lost the round. Yeah, I'm trying to think about what exactly I'm gonna do. I realize I need to protect this typhoon. The main reason I have the typhoons on the board is to help with the chaff clear, right? Because I realize that my chaff clear is not that great. Let me bring in some more chaff to protect our typhoons. Let's see how this goes. I put down a smoke. He's got advanced offensive tactics here as well. So all his units just attack 30% more than ours. Because of that, we lose the round. The smoke did help us a little bit, but our left side is very weak right now. The side that didn't get smoked. Well, technically it did get smoked, but it's the side where I didn't put the smoke down. Alrighty. So he wins round 5. Not looking good for us right now. What are we gonna do to get out of this? We are on the back foot. We don't have tempo. We get the fast here. I immediately decide to put it on the right hand side, but he does the same thing. So it means our strength on this side is not that great. I'm still busy playing catch up here, putting down Stormcallers. In hindsight, I don't think this was a good idea. Getting into a Stormcaller mirror match. He then goes for marksman with elite marksman, and he's got 7 of them. So they are definitely going to outrange our units, anything that we have on our board. This marksman is on 195 meters. Let's shoot so far. Okay, the Farseer taking care of the Rhino on the right, but he does have his own Farseer. My Farseer is trying really hard with his missile interceptor. And I think that was another mistake I made. I got missile interceptor on one Farseer and I didn't have another Farseer, so not very smart on my part doing that. Okay, let's speed this up. Okay, we lose round 6. Not looking good at all. What do we do? We're in a mirror match, but we're losing, right? We both got our missile strikes. I put up shields thinking that he's gonna do something dodgy. So that's 400 that I've invested on round 7. I bring in another Farseer with missile interceptor. He's now got high explosive ammo on his Stormcallers. I did not recognize the problem in this game in that he just has a lot more chaff than I do, and my chaff clear is not good. So I thought maybe the homing missile would work. And with that and the Farseers intercepting the missiles from the Stormcallers, we do a good job. Let's see how this goes. This, yeah, our Typhoons, the one in the middle and the one on the right, just not doing very well. Our Farseer getting locked on and destroyed by the marksman. His marksman just doing so much work right now. And the reason why they can do so much work is because we're losing the chaff battle, right? That's the main reason. If we had better chaff clear, we could be winning this regardless of him having elite marksman. Even with the 4 shields that we put up, we still lost. He's doing a heck of a lot of damage with his marksman. 9,000 per hit. No. 19,000 per hit and quite a bit of range. I had to take the Vulcans because my chaff clear once again just not good. He had the luxury of taking the sledgehammers, which is what I would have taken if I had really good chaff clear. I decide to see if I can just do a last ditch cheese effort here with the sticky oil and the incendiary. Just light the ground on fire. But I don't know if you noticed, there are crawlers over here and there are crawlers over here. So not ideal actually. Not the best decision. You'll see why in a second. You'll see why in a second. But I mean, the idea of the Vulcan was good, just not the incendiary. I should have maybe gone for just the range, and then let my big boys do the damage. I'm looking at this board earlier. I realized that maybe I should have gone for a giant instead of the Farseers and just try and get in and focus on my chaff clear. We do have range on our Stormcaller, so that's a little bit of a saving grace, but he still outranges us with his marksman, so... Righty. I think that's the end of the game. Is it? Oh no, it's not. One more round. Okay. We are on the back foot. We both take laser sights. He puts his laser sight on a marksman, which makes a lot of sense. That marksman is one of his MVPs. Level 4, doing a lot of damage. Once another last ditch effort. Trying to get Electromag just to slow down his units. Granted, there's not really much here to Electromag, if you want to call it that. He goes for quick reload on his marksman. So now he's got this, like, he's basically doing a marksman carry. And I recognize that I need to get to them. So the only way I can get to them is to clear his chaff, which is why I then went for the Vulcans. But just did it in the wrong way. I've also got my own, I've got a lot of chaff on the board as well. But he's got these chaff clearing Stormcallers. Also, I'm lighting the ground on fire, which means all of my chaff runs through that and dies. So we're going big units versus big units in the middle. And so he's got the marksmen that just do a lot more damage, and so they can just lock onto my big units and kill them almost instantly. I love the sound of elite marksman that it makes. You can hear it when it comes out. It's so cool. I did also smoke on the left hand side, but it didn't make too much of a difference. Alrighty. That's game 3. We lost. So now we are 2-1. Next game. We're up against Mumbo Jumbo. I've faced Mumbo Jumbo a few times already. I can't remember my record against him. It would be really cool if the game would show your record, your win-loss record versus someone beforehand. I've got Typhoon and Aerial that I'm looking at here. He's got Fortified, he's got Fire Badger. He takes Fire Badger. Good choice. Round 1, I decided to bring in the Arc Lights. Because, I mean, he's got Crawlers, so it kind of makes sense. What I usually do in the beginning is, instead of like moving my units individually, I pick the standard for recommended formation that's closest to what I want to put down on the board. And then I do that. And I just adjust from there. It makes it quick. Makes it easy to deploy. Okay, he decided to go for the marksman. Not a bad choice because he saw that I had arc lights, so I mean he probably realized that I was gonna bring in arc lights, that's all. I think this might be a draw. Or he wins by a slight margin. Let's see. Yeah. He wins by a bit. Alright, what do we do next? Got a unit drop. I take the Sabertooth, he takes the Wraith. Pretty smart decision because I've got nothing that hits up right now besides my Fangs, and Fangs aren't particularly good at Wraiths. Killing Wraiths. He puts this large amount of units on the left hand side here, so Fire Badger and a Wraith. It's a big commitment. He's Fire Badger specialist, so he put both of his free unit drops on the side. I've got my Sabertooth, my lonely Sabertooth on the right hand side. Let's see how that goes. So now I see this and I'm thinking, how am I actually gonna counter this? Like what can I put down to go against this really strong flank? It's a lot. It's a massive commitment of resources that is put down in this corner. So I have to take it seriously. It's not something that you can take lightly when an opponent does that. But you also don't want to overreact. Granted, you could probably just sell the units if you do put down something that's too big down there. He wins the round because of the really good flank. Okay, it's round 3. I take supply enhancement. He decides to take fortified hacker for some reason. I've never seen anyone play it. So now I'm thinking, okay, what do I do about this flank? I decided to come in with Phoenix. And I put down a Sabertooth. So Phoenix and a Sabertooth. Things that will be useful to my composition and not overcommit to what he has. So but now he's also brought in the Phoenix. Good choice. That is to take on my Sabertooth. I don't quite understand why we bring in Phoenix even though he has Marksman. They do the same thing. We kill the Marksman on the left, so that means all we have to do is take care of these Phoenix on the right here, and then we'll be good. So let's see how this plays out. I'm gonna speed up. Oh, he takes out my Phoenix, so now I lose because of that. Turns out the Phoenix maybe was a good buy for him. Okay, he wins round 3. We're on the back foot, but there aren't many problems here that we can't solve. He's also put down Stormcallers with high explosive ammo. We both take the Eon Blast. I've been trying my best to practice aiming this, and I think I've gotten fairly good. Let's see how this turns out. He brings out Mustangs. I decide to bring in more Phoenix and to protect my my Sabertooth. What I didn't realize is that the Sabertooth actually moves faster than the Fangs. I don't know why I made that mistake. I should have put them slightly further forward. Luckily, the Phoenix here died, but all my units on the left here died that would protect my tower, and he does a mobile beacon play, which I think was very smart to kind of avoid the Eon Blast, even though he wouldn't have hit it anyway. So we get debuffed very early in the round. I'm still very confident in my Sabertooth and the play that I have with my Sabertooth. So I'm just thinking, how can I stabilize? How can I get back into this? And what's the next step for me in this game? Where do I want to take my strategy? So I win the round. Get some tempo back. Making a video. What's up? I'm making a video. What's up? Oh. Okay. Cool. So my chaff clear is not that great. So I've added range to my arc lights. He does something cheesy here. He puts down Stormcallers because he realizes that I don't have a lot of protection on this tower. Very good idea. This building was totally exposed and it's my fault for leaving it exposed, so good job on him for doing that. And he put down a missile to clear whatever I had there. My chaff clear is fairly good now. Kind of better than he, so I'm winning the chaff battle. He's brought on more Stormcallers. So, a couple of things here. He's presenting me with multiple problems, right? This flank on the left here is still very annoying. He's put down the Stormcallers over here to kill my tower. He's put down additional Stormcallers. So, not looking good for us. I put the Vulcans in front of the towers. I put this Vulcan right here. I don't know if he's gonna sell the Stormcaller, if he's gonna keep it. I also put some fangs down just to protect it. And then lastly, I put down some crawlers here to protect my Sabertooth. I immediately get range on the Vulcan, so now I'm transitioning into Vulcan Phoenix. He's doing the same. But he's got Mustangs in the back as well. He has now sold out of the Wraith in this corner. Our Sabertooth getting targeted here. He's got this really nice strong Vulcan on the right hand side. But we're winning on the left here because we've got this Sabertooth that's actually tanking a lot, coming in quite late. Now he's got nothing that hits up on the right hand side, so my Phoenix is doing a bit of damage. Let's speed this up. Cool. We win the round. I mean, he won this side because he's got two Vulcans on the side, so we're both gonna take the laser sights. I mean, just works really well here. I decided to go attack on my Vulcans. And then I brought in a third Vulcan just to help on this side where his other Vulcan is. Our chaff clear is slightly better than his because he's relying only on the Vulcans, but I've got Arclights and Vulcan. It might be a bit overkill, but we're winning the chaff battle, so that's what matters, right? We get temp range, we lend, we get temp movement speed. We've also got defense and attack enhancement. He's got the same, he's doing all the same, except that he's now added electromagnetic shot to his marksman. I've added range to my Vulcans, to my Phoenix. Because I recognize that he's got range on his marksman, so we kind of don't want to be close to them. Once again, we're winning the chaff force, so his marksmen are just hitting chaff because I'm clearing his chaff quicker than he can clear mine. So, and this left side is not doing well. I've got this one Phoenix that's just locked onto that Vulcan. That did a great amount of damage. Good work. That was a convincing win. Of the round, obviously. Okay, now we go to round 8. How do we finish this game? He chooses the the sledgehammers. I chose the wasps because I thought they would just be great chaff going into the side. I know he's got the Mustangs, but these are level 2 wasps, and yeah, all I really have to do is fly them in and use them as chaff. And once again, I'm winning the chaff battle, so adding more chaff is never a bad idea. He goes to the oil on the left hand side. I'm upgrading everything because they all deserve upgrades because they did such a great job in the previous round. He goes for the Eon Blast. Eon Blast gets quite a bit of my, my Wasp, but doesn't kill any of my big units. And now it's just these marksmen hitting shielded wasps. Yeah, and they do very well against marksmen because marksmen have to hit the one wasp twice with the shields to clear it. And that's the only thing he had that hits up besides the Mustang. So there's a massive advantage for us in that round, and so we win the match. Alrighty. It's going good so far. We are 3-1. Let's go to the next battle. I really had a lot of fun in this tournament. I was online with my friends and we were just chatting. They were also doing the tournament, and it was just really relaxed and chilled. I really regret not streaming this tournament. Okay, our opponent is Fidesz. He's got some tough choices to make here. Not the best options. I would be looking at Fortified, maybe Typhoon. Let's go. Yeah, he went for Fortified. Turn on Quick Deploy. So I'm gonna go with my basic setup here. Just adding arc lights. Same formation I always do. Nothing fancy. I honestly expected him to go for the Tarantula push here, because when I see Tarantulas and Crawlers, it just makes sense. They're not the best long-range units. But he decides to go for a standard play. See how this plays out. So because of our Stormcallers being on the inside, we actually targeted the Tarantula first instead of the Fangs. If they were on the outside, we would have been hitting Fangs. That's why I like this formation a lot. People tend to focus on the outsides quite a lot, and so coming in from the inside gives you a bit of an advantage early game. We both take Subsidized Mustang. I like to go Mustangs with my Sabertooth. He clearly likes to go Mustangs with his Tarantula. I take Subsidized Mustang, but I don't buy any Mustangs. I was worried about my chaff, and I didn't feel like I had enough on the board. So I just decided to bring in 3 sets of Fangs. So one of the things you need to learn about this game is that having chaff is so important, and getting chaff in the early rounds is so important, because you're basically building a foundation for ensuring that you can have a strong board later on. If you don't have chaff and you don't bring chaff in early, then later on when you're just bringing in big stuff, you're not going to have the opportunity to bring in chaff, and you don't want to lose the chaff for later on, right? So it's always a safe bet to just bring in some extra chaff and then react to whatever he brings in to the game. In this case, I got lucky because he brought in the Mustangs and I brought in chaff, and my Stormcallers are still doing a lot of work. He's obviously gonna use the Mustangs for the missile interceptor, I think. think we're gonna win this round. Sorry, I didn't speed up because I thought it would be over quickly, but it wasn't. Alrighty, so we win round 2. Going into round 3 with a massive advantage. He's already lost 25% of his HP. Okay. So now that fortified... I was going to say the fortified hacker card, but that was in the previous game. Now he goes hacker, right? Recently I've been noticing a lot of guys do this, go hacker into Sabertooth. It works pretty well. You'll see it now. It works exceptionally well, actually. So especially hacker and Mustang. He must have been thinking about this beforehand already, thinking he wants to go hacker into my my Sabertooth. Luckily, I've not committed anything into these hackers. But yeah, I don't have anything to kill him besides my Stormcallers and my... I don't even know, my marksman's dead already, so... I'm just gonna lose this round. My units get hacked and he gets a massive win because of that. He didn't even go ranged on them. Now he's equalized. I've got one marksman. I'm thinking, what am I gonna do here? Okay, I go for the wraiths. We both go for the wraiths. I decide to sell out of the Sabertooths because I just don't want them to get hacked. So now I'm just gonna bring in units that don't get hacked. So aerial units and chaff are great. And then I also recognize that he's got Mustangs and chaff on the board, so I'm just gonna clear. Also, I think that Vulcans are a really good answer to Tarantulas and Spider-Mines, so... And they're really hard to hack because they're giants. He needs levels on his hackers in order to hack my giants, so that's why I did it. They're not very hackable. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so it looks like we're doing okay on the right hand side. For some reason my Vulcan changed targets from the hacker to the Tarantula, but the left side we completely lost because he stole my Sabertooth. We are very much on the back foot here, boys. What do we do? Down to 1200 HP. We gotta make a plan. We gotta make a plan. We both go for Amplifying Core. He puts it on his hacker. Now he's got a level 2 hacker. That's a problem. Because now they can start doing really well against my Vulcans. But look what I did here. I recognize that he's going hacker, right? And one of the things that does really well against hackers is Stormcallers. And I got range immediately on my Stormcallers. He's got nothing that counters my Stormcallers right now. Yes, he does have some Mustangs, but they don't have anti-missile on them yet. Or missile interceptor, so... let's see how this goes. Sold the Sabertooth on the left here as well. Now I see that he's got degen on his Wraith. I haven't seen this upgrade in a while. This ability is not very well used, not very common online. And the reason for it is because it's countered so easily. As soon as your opponent gets it, you just get photon emission and you win. Right, so now that he doesn't have my Sabertooth to hack on the left hand side, my left hand side is fine. And the Stormcallers are doing a great job. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that hits up on this side against the Wraiths. My Wraith lost. So, but we've got this Vulcan with the nano repair that's doing great work. Let's speed up. Wait for our marksman to eventually catch up over here. Come on. Walk, 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 walk. Get there. We need you. Nice. Now, what do we do about this DGN beam? We sorted out the hackers. We sorted out the tarantulas. I get what I wanted. I get the exact thing that I needed, which is overloads, because they've got photon emission. Funny thing is, I went subsidized Mustang and I haven't bought a second single Mustang because I realized that they're not actually going to add much value to the board. And in fact, for him, they're not adding much value besides being missile interceptors. I decided to go for the overload and put him on the left-hand side. He brings in his Typhoons now. He chose Typhoons, I chose the boats. I also recognize that he doesn't have much that can really take down the boats besides the Mustangs, so that was one of the reasons why I took it. And I also have a Vulcan on the left hand side because my left is kind of weak. Mustangs are dying, so they're not really doing their job, which is to intercept missiles. They're only really intercepting like the first couple of waves, and then that's it. The Overlord is doing an amazing job, doing a lot of damage on the left. All he has now that shoots up are these Typhoons. He has hacked my Vulcan on the right hand side, very good job. But that was because of the Typhoons. Let's speed up. He has nothing to kill my Overload, so that worked quite nicely for us. What did he take? I took the shields, right? Yeah. Also, hackers are really bad against shields, so I decided to go for that. He brings in a melter with range on the left. Good idea. I immediately get photon emission to counter the DGN beam. I sold the Wraith on the right hand side so I could buy the boat and get the technology. We're getting temp range and we loan. We still don't have an attack enhancement and we just got it. Now it's round 7. We got photon emission on our units, which means the DGN beam doesn't affect them. We immediately kill the Wraith on the left. Now to get the Wraith on the right, we did. So now no more DGN beam. All we have to do is deal with what's on the ground. Poor Vulcan on the left hand side is getting decimated. He's now going to turn on us because he gets hacked, but we get the debuff on the left hand side. Let's see how this goes. He's a big boy, so he's gonna do damage. Okay, so now we need to focus on the right and see how we can fix that, because he should not be getting hacked. Our left side is fine. We just have to focus on the right now and fix that. Overload takes down the melter. He's pretty strong. I think if this Overload can survive the Mustangs, he will do quite well. Obviously, I think he is, because it's a 80,000 HP unit versus few Mustangs that are heating up. Speed up. I think we're gonna win this round because of this Overload. Well done to him. Right. We need to fix the problem on the right. Let's see what we're gonna do here. He takes Incendiary, I take Smoke. I decide to go for sticky oil bomb, just so that I can light it on fire. With my Vulcans, I shield up because I recognize that he's got incendiary, and it's potentially the last round of the game as well. So he goes oil with incendiary to see if he could finish the game. Problem is, like I said, the Overlord is really good with the photon emission. So we don't. The fire won't affect our units that are within the photon emission. The oil lands, but we didn't set it on fire. But it does slow down some of the units. And we clear all the chaff on the left hand side. And it does kill our boat on the left hand side. So that's really, really good. Stormcallers are now coming in clutch. Because he doesn't have anything countering them besides the Mustangs. And I have been upgrading them, just so you know. So they do a decent chunk of damage. Alrighty. I think that's the game. The incendiary didn't really, the oil didn't really work, but it was okay. There was some stuff that burnt. Let's jump into the next game. I am gonna blow my nose quickly. Sorry that it's been running so much, man. Alrighty, this is the 6th game. We are now 5-1. We're playing against Wayne. I choose the Farseer Specialist with the... This is probably one of the best starting packs you can get. Farseer Specialist with Stormcallers and Crawlers. He's probably going to go for Typhoon or Sabertooth. Let's see what Wayne picks. Come Wayne. Why are you taking so long? He's got a big decision to make. I would take Typhoon in his position, to be honest. Yeah, makes sense. Makes the most sense. Alrighty. So we got Farseer Specialist on my side, Typhoon Specialist on his side. Both have fairly strong starts. So this should be a very interesting game. He goes for vertical deployment of his Stormcallers. Just an interesting note: if you're playing Stormcaller versus Stormcaller, horizontal Stormcallers will always beat out vertical Stormcallers, purely because they hit the horizontal Stormcallers will be moving forward in one go and hitting at one go, whereas the vertical ones, the Stormcaller at the back, actually takes a while to get forward and then hit. You'll see it in this interaction now. They kind of bunch up. You see? He comes in, he starts hitting last, whereas all of my Stormcallers start hitting at the same time. The Crawlers get through on the left here. They do a little bit of damage, but our Fangs are taking care of them. We're already starting to hit his Stormcallers because he's got slow moving units here, so big advantage from our side. But he does have some chaff coming in with the Crawlers, with the Fangs. And it looks like we're gonna win this round. Oh no. I thought that one rocket would hit, but it didn't. Oh. Round 2. We win round 1. Not by much, but good start. We both go for the marksman. It makes sense here. I need chaff clear against these crawlers because they did get through earlier, so we need to clear them out. And then he brings in more crawlers. I mean, he sees that my chaff clear is not good, so it makes sense for him to bring in more crawlers. Got a very similar chaff setup to ours. Unfortunately for us, our one arclight got locked onto by the stormcaller. I guess that's one advantage of putting them vertical, because they will get to the front earlier. Now he's struggling with chaff clear because, I mean, he doesn't have anything to clear chaff besides his stormcallers. So let's see how this goes for him. Okay, so we win the round. Okay, we win round 2. Now we move on to round 3. We get our Farseer. He gets his Typhoon. I choose supply enhancement. He chooses, what is this called? Laser sights. So I think this is where we get a massive advantage. I decided to go for arclights with range to just bolster our chaff clear, because he is bringing in quite a bit of chaff. And I specifically didn't buy one on this side because I've got the Farseer to help out on this round. So let's see how this goes. Unfortunately, this arclight locks onto the Typhoon and then just doesn't clear the crawlers on the right hand side, which means the crawlers get through. Not ideal. But our one arclight in the middle is doing pretty well. He's doing work. But we will lose this round, I think. Sorry, I kind of spoiled it there. Going to round 8. Okay, so I chose the Javelin. And what did he pick? He picked another laser sight. Not a bad idea. I choose Javelin because you're most likely going to use it twice in the game, especially if you get it before round 5. So it's really good value, and it takes out a massive target on the board for you. Now this is not a massive target; it's just a Typhoon, but it's going to do some damage. He brings in more Typhoons. I decided to bring in one more arclight and more chaff just to help out. Yeah, I'm protecting this arclight on the right hand side. You can see now he's doing his job like he's supposed to. Unfortunately, this arclight is still locked onto this Typhoon, but we've got the Farseer here helping cover him, so that's great for us. Our center is not looking great, but our flanks are now okay. So we need to figure that out. Righty, now we go on to round 4. Nice. He takes barrier. I skipped. I didn't think I was going to bring in giants this early, so I didn't want to take the barrier. He takes the Vulcan with the barrier. I bring in distraction crawlers because he has these really annoying stormcallers. It's a bit late for this distraction callers, but it's rather late than ever. I get range on my marksman, and we get defense enhancement. So now we've got a nice board of chaff. We do need a few fangs on the left hand side here, but the distraction crawlers bring everything to the middle, so that means our stuff is kind of protected here. This Arclight keeps... he loves this... he really loves this Typhoon. He just keeps locking on, and it's no good for us. He really loves him. And then that forgets to do his real job, which is to clear the chaff. So now he's got this Vulcan in the middle, and it's doing really good damage. It's clearing everything. This Arclight is still doing amazing work in the middle. He deserves all the promotions he can get, but the crawlers got through on the right hand side, so not looking good for us over there. We need to figure that out. When our shield gets taken down. Okay. He wins that round. The Vulcan made a big difference. Good job on that. We both take Amplifying Core. Right, so I sell the Farseer and I decide... When I see Vulcans, I always think Sandworms. We're gonna bring them in on the flanks, and then I'm gonna put the one Amplifying Core on the Sandworm. Remember, the distraction crawlers are bringing everything to the center, so hopefully our worms will take out the flanks. In hindsight, I should probably have brought in more Arclights, or I mean more Stormcallers in the middle, just to help with this middle. But here you can see the Sandworms doing work. We've got Replicate on them, just so that they can have a little bit of distraction every time they come up. But our center is still pretty weak. We need to figure that out. Stormcallers will probably solve the problem there. The Sandworm with the Amp Core goes towards the Vulcan, which is what we wanted. It worked. So this is, I think, the pivotal moment in this game. He's got a big problem to solve now with these Earthworms. Maybe he has to bring in Melters, or just something that hits hard enough to take them down, right? Belak says, I got you, and gives him some nice units to counter. He picks the Phoenix. We took the Sledgehammers. I thought that my ground wasn't that strong, and Vulcans have a hard time taking down Sledgehammers very quickly. I don't understand why I would go Phoenix into my ranged marksman, but I'm sure he had a reason. I add burrow maintenance on my snakies, my Sandworms. Our center is still fairly weak, so there's work that needs to be done there. This Arclight is still in love with this Typhoon. I didn't fix that. I should have fixed it, but I didn't. But he survives, luckily. Doesn't get stuck on them. Marksman doing a great job against the Phoenix. Honestly, I thought it was a mistake for him to bring in Phoenix against my ranged marksman. You should have figured out a different solution for the Earthworm, something more effective. I wouldn't be immediately counted on the board that exists. We have to take Lightning Storm here. It's the last round of the game probably, and then it's just thinking about what we want to do next. He puts up the shields, and then I go for marksman with aerial specialization. Honestly, it was a big mistake for me to not put down shields here. But I do have the javelin now again. Remember the javelin I said earlier that might not be useful at that point? It won us that round, and it has taken out these big damage dealers on this side for our worms, right? So even though a lot of our stuff died on this right hand side because of the storm, we do have a worm that's moving in on the inside here that will be distracting the Vulcan. Remember the Vulcan used to go on the left here against the worm. We get debuffed because we had no shields on this side, but the left side is still pushing through. With our worms who have burrow maintenance, so they gain life back when they are burrowed. And now it's the worms versus fangs and stormcallers. And I think we're gonna win that quite handily. I really think replicate is probably gonna be nerfed soon, because I think it's the strongest skill on the sandworm at the moment, and it's very cheap, which is really nice. So we win. We beat Wayne. And now, the final round of the tournament. Actually, we were 4-1 in the previous game. We are now 5-1. We're going into the final round. Right? I know I said it was a 5-1, but it was actually 4-1. And we are playing Rooster. This is my third match against Rooster. We are 1-1. I beat him the last time I played against him. It was one of my proudest moments. And yeah, we've got a tough decision to make. We do know that he likes to play aggro. So I went for the marksman specialist with the stormcallers and the crawlers. He gets some really good aggro starts here. He decides to go for the ball crawler with the saber-tooth. Very strong start. So he's going to be doing an aggro setup here. I'm going to go with my standard setup. I think it's really good against aggro. Ball push into this is fairly strong. I've got no defense in the middle against these crawlers besides my own crawlers, and the stormcallers are distracting them. This is the only time where having the stormcallers on the inside were actually not a good idea. We kind of needed them on the outside. And his balls get through. Awesome. So we lose round 1. Just a quick mental note for yourself here. I am at this point. I think just under 1800, like 1790 or 1780, and Rooster is 2100 MMR. So there's a 400 MMR difference between the two of us. Right? So I am very much the underdog in this match. I was while I was playing, I was quite nervous because I was worried that I was going to lose. I go for the Scorpions. He brings in the Rhino, which I thought would be his choice. I thought he would bring it in on this side. I took a guess. It didn't work. He brought it in on this side. Remember, we are marksman specialists, so we do get our level 3 marksman now. We win the right side, but we lose the left. It's really unfortunate because, yeah, it's just one bad decision. You don't know what side he's going to choose to put units down on, what side he's going to push on. I guess it could have been obvious considering that his left side did win the last time, so maybe he would push the advantage there, but you can never tell with really good and strong aggro players. They are able to bamboozle you quite easily. Let's speed up. Okay, he wins round 2. I take Photon. No, he took Photon and put it on the Rhino. What did I take? I actually don't. Did I skip? I think I skipped. Okay, so now it's Scorpions on the left. I think if I pause here, I actually needed something to fight against these crawlers coming in here. And he sold the balls on the right hand side, and I should have realized earlier that he might move to the left hand side. I decided to go for a wasp play. He reads my mind and puts down a missile, a brilliant missile. I mean, yeah, I guess aggro players know what to expect in this situation. Now we've got a lot of stuff here on this side doing almost nothing, and a lot of stuff on this side doing really poorly. And one little wasp just hitting a tower that's not doing anything. So that's a very big loss for us because of this read. I mean, this read was insane. When I saw it in game, I was like, how did he know? I mean, I guess that's why he's one of the best players in the world. So yeah. Now, this one little wasp. I think we're gonna draw this round actually, because it will run out of time. I don't think that wasp will be able to kill these two arc lights. Come on, let's go, let's go. Yeah, 100% gonna be a draw. Okay, he goes for heavy armor. I decided to go for efficient tech. I didn't know if it was the right decision, because it is a bit slow, and I decided to bring the wasps into the middle here and fly them through over here, because I saw that there was a nice path in here. I put down the oil. I see that he's focusing on the left. Right. Well, he's doing a little bit of work, but I'm not doing the chaff clear that I need to. He's got range on his arc lights already. That's very good. Oil helped a little bit. We do need range on our scorpions. Okay, and we win the round. Okay. Round 4 was ours. I sold the scorpion on the right hand side here, if you didn't notice. I really thought he would go for the sandworm here, but he decides to go for the phoenixes. It makes more sense if I think about it. I picked the sandworm because I thought for sure he was going to put it on this side. I honestly, I did when I did this play, I forgot that I had already had them in the middle here. So him having the Mustang, putting down the Mustangs here, I thought, man, this man is reading me like a book. But now that I look at it afterwards, I realize that I actually had them here in the middle already. So it makes sense for him to put them down there. Puts down a Sabertooth on the right hand side here. Now these are like his aggro units basically. With and he's taken the balls away. So now he's gone into Sabertooth, Mustang with Phoenix. And unfortunately for us, he's level 3 Sabertooth locked onto our Earthworm, our Sandworm, sorry. And just, yeah, it just decimated it. And on this side, the level 2 is not doing too well either because we've got Sabertooth eating into it with the Phoenix. I think it's a really good combination. Yeah, bad choice on my part. I really thought he would go for the Sandworms. I honestly did. Just a misread on my part, and now I'm stuck with these Sandworms that aren't doing very well. Right? Ooh. I should probably have gone for the Phoenix if I'm honest, and then just build up my chaff clear with the Scorpions. Okay, plating. Let's see if the plating ops. His Arclights are doing great work in the chaff clear department. He's now got elite marksman on them. Yeah, my chaff clear is so poor here. Look at him kill my Arclights immediately, and then me just having nothing for these crawlers. Just my Scorpions and my Fangs basically struggling to clear these crawlers. So not the best play. He also brought in an Arclight in the corner here. I didn't notice that. The plating did not help. So the reason I chose plating was because I thought I need to make the best of a bad situation here. I didn't want to sell out because I didn't know what I would buy instead. So yeah, I just tried my best to just play it out and see if it would work and what I could get. We both take intensive training. I decided to train the Sandworm. He goes for the Sabertooth. Both nice and tanky units. But yeah, I think the chaff clear. I lost the chaff war, and so I'm bringing in a Vulcan, thinking, okay, if I can win the chaff war, this will be great. I should have done this a long time ago. I should have sold. Maybe I should have sold this Scorpion and put a Vulcan on this side to help protect the Sandworm. So finally, we've got chaff clear. Finally, right? But now he's got double shot and his Sabertooth, and he locks onto my Vulcan and just destroys it. The double shot also helps against the plating. Now I've got nothing that shoots up against this Phoenix. That's unfortunate. And he's got this really, really fat Sabertooth that's doing great work for him on the left hand side. Pick the Sledgies. He just sold and brings in the big boys. 2 level 2 fortresses. It's pretty strong. With the elite recruitment. Look, he knows he's got the chaff 4-1. He just has to bring in more big stuff now. I decided last ditch effort, let's try some acid. Maybe that can take down the saber-tooths. I put down oil. I mean, he had shields on his fortress as well, and he just like ran through my entire army because of that. I mean, there's so much we can learn from this game, but I think the main takeaway for me is just my chaff clear was bad, and because I lost the chaff 4 so early on, I lost the late game as well. So definitely lessons learned there. If I had this and this earlier and not this, maybe with my Phoenix, I would have stood a chance here. But yeah, very well played by Rooster as usual. I think he played a great game. He ended up 5th. And let me go to my medal and see where I ended up. I ended up 12th. I think it was pretty good. This lineup here was a good performance, I think. Ranked 12th in the advanced group European tournament. It's one of my best performances in the tournament so far. I'm still waiting to get that silver medal, but we'll get there, and hopefully a gold soon. So yeah, I really had fun playing this tournament, and it was a really good time because I had my friends with me. It was all chilled. I didn't get upset because I lost. I was just happy. Being able to play the game with my friends present and have a good time. So and that's what it's about, right? So for me, this is one of my it'll be a memorable tournament for me. Besides, I've had better tournaments from a performance perspective, I think, like maybe 1 or 2 ranks higher, but from a fun perspective, this is definitely one of the most fun tournaments I've played. So yeah, I hope you learned something in the video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I will check you next time. Peace.